Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about quartz clocks. My name is Atin
And my name is Tanish.
and we're going to be talking about an application of simple harmonic motion used in quartz clocks. So before we get started, let me tell you what quartz is. Quartz is the second most abundant mineral and it's made of silicon dioxide. It is used in quartz clocks and wristwatches. So when it's bent or compressed, it creates a charge of electricity and vice versa. By that I mean when we apply electricity to it, it will change shape. This is actually known as the piezoelectric effect. In electric watches, a small quartz caught tuning fork is placed and attached to a circuit to vibrate at a frequency of 32,768 Hz. A little bit of background information about these clocks. They were first introduced in 1960, the clocks that used a tuning fork to run, and they were considered one of the most accurate timepieces in that time period. Why? Because um, they were guaranteed to lose no more than 2 seconds per day. And the tuning fork keeps vibrating at a constant frequency using a battery current. So these watches are electronic and use a battery.
Yes, and now for the explanation about how quartz clocks work. So in a lot of electronic components and appliances, quartz is actually a very common compound that is used if that electronic component needs to oscillate at a constant and stable frequency. And a clock is no different from that, and this is a requirement. And in clocks, clocks would be really necessary for this. And inside quartz clocks, there is actually a tuning fork whose material is made out of quartz and it's shaped accordingly. And when electric current is passed through this quartz, as we established before, there is something called the piezoelectric effect where it will generate spikes of voltages. And at these spikes in the voltage, there are actually peaks in the frequency. And the crystal will actually vibrate at a resonant frequency when this voltage is applied. And this resonant frequency is exactly 32,768 hertz. And this is actually known as the fundamental frequency, as we have talked about in class, or n equals 1, which is known as the first harmonic. Now, the reason that it has to be calibrated, they calibrate it to exactly 32,768 hertz is because it is actually a power of 2, specifically 2 to the power of 15. This is actually important for two reasons. One is that this is actually above the highest threshold level of hearing, which is 20,000 hertz. And 2 to the power of 15 is just slightly above that. And the second reason is that powers of 2 will be divisible by 2. This will be important in reducing the frequency back to 1 hertz so it can tick 1 second. Now, the way that the frequency is actually reduced is done through logical circuits. And these logical circuits are known as flip-flops. So they take in a frequency and they vibrate at half the frequency. And when you pass through a series of multiple flip-flops, specifically 14 in this case, it will actually go all the way down to 2 to the power of 0. And that is 1 hertz. And 1 hertz simply just means 1 second. 1 second will just mean 1 second passes on the second hand on the clock. And once this process happens over and over again, time will move forward on the clock. And we have a working clock. And this will demonstrate how quartz and simple harmonic motion go through together for an application of time. And this photo here is just a picture of the quartz tuning forks found in these watches. And that's it.
These are our sources for this presentation, and thank you for listening.